Oh, welcome to One Nation Network. This is what you're going to see tonight. You're just going to see the promo of One Nation Network because I don't like any of you people and I don't care if you see me tonight or not. So you guys can all kiss it for all I care. Whose phone's on? Linda, mute your computer.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Good job, Linda. Good job, Linda.
Oh, no.
You said we had a surprise for everybody,
Okay,
correct, Linda?
I did. What's up, Pops?
Oh, Jesus, you got right up on there, girl.
Oh, I did, didn't I?
There you go. That's
See
good.
how he just gets on me?
Stay right there, Linda.
I'll stay right there.
You're good.
All right. So can we say hello, One Nation Network?
Look, you say we have a surprise for all these fools, right?
Dirty.
What?
Let's just say hey to all of our fans before we get dirty.
Hello, fans. You guys all irritate me.
Welcome to One Nation Network TV. This is going to be an exciting show. We have something spectacular.
We do?
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, all they're
Okay.
seeing is a screen.
That's okay.
That's all they're seeing.
All right.
Do you really want me to show them?
Yeah.
You really want me to show them?
Absolutely.
I'm not happy with it.
Okay, let's see what we
But there you are. I am sitting in the One Nation
There you
right
are.
there.
With his villain shirt on. Best
there. See?
shirt ever for him.
See that right there?
Okay.
One Nation Network. I am dirty. Sitting right over there is, I don't know, sitting right behind our sponsor, Stacy's Novelty Gifts, the one, the only.
Lynn B. Hey, guys.
And we have a special guest tonight
We do.
that we will be talking to. What did you do, Linda?
What did I do?
I don't know. Your camera went out.
Okay.
We have a special. Oh, there you
There
are.
we are. Okay, cool.
And we have a special guest right here.
We do.
Right there.
And he is
Hi, folks. Kevin Fitzgerald.
Kevin
There you
Fitzgerald.
go.
All right.
Kevin Fitzgerald actually ran in the state representative.
Okay.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay.
What district? 80.
District 89.
All
District 89.
Which is
That's
basically
what it was.
the Manchester area, correct?
Oh, it's actually, no. It's
De Pere? Is it all
De
that
Pere.
area? Okay.
Ladue,
Uh-huh.
Clayton,
Okay.
Town and Country.
Oh, okay.
It's referred to as the Silver Spoon District.
The Silver
in
Spoon.
Jeff City, yeah.
I
With
grew
all
up
the
in Richmond
clowns?
Heights, so yeah, that's pretty much true. I grew up, yeah. All right.
So, Linda, I'm gonna do something even better for you. You
yeah,
ready?
because we want to do a special tribute before we get started.
We do,
We
but I have
do.
to do something real quick.
Okay. Dirty's
because-
having a ball. We have a green. Remember how I told you guys that when we were at the other
Hold on,
studio?
let me click to you, Linda.
Okay.
Let me get to you.
Okay.
Okay, take
All right.
over.
Can I take
for a
over
minute.
while
Yeah,
you're
go
doing
ahead.
that? Okay.
Take over for
Now
a
it's
minute.
back over there for you.
No, you just take
Okay.
over. Just
All
keep
right,
going.
So,
Do your
guys,
thing.
remember when we were at Medici for a couple weeks and it didn't quite work out for us? Well, one of the things, remember the video that we shot with Dirty falling in love with the green room down
Yeah, because
there?
they sucked.
He lost. Okay. He lost his mind. So
I'm just speaking the truth.
So guess what? We decided to do a green room down here.
That is
and
true.
Dirty is having the time of his life. He's enjoying it. So look at all the great stuff that we can do now behind the scenes.
Yeah, but
I-
it's still not the way I want it, though.
You should see it on what I'm seeing with the shared live. I've
Does
got
it look
me
good?
and Stacy's novelty gifts behind. It looks great.
I know. You like that?
I do.
There's
That is-
Kevin.
I hope Stacy's watching.
I got to turn his green screen on.
All right.
But I'm going to fix it, so it'll
Yeah.
be fixed in a minute.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing one more. I'm adding something else. Oh, no, that ain't what I want. I'm going to do this. Watch this. No, that ain't what I want. This is what I got to find.
Okay.
Nope, don't want that picture.
So while he's doing that, can I go back to what we were talking
Yeah,
about?
go
Okay,
to
great.
the little special thing.
Absolutely. Well, okay. For those of you who remembers, and I grew up watching this before going to church on Sunday morning, wrestling at the Chase, and one of the announcers was Larry Matysik.
Correct.
Okay, great. Unfortunately, Larry passed this week. Was it just this week, Larry?
Sunday.
Sunday. And so we all remember him. And I want to shout out to my childhood friend that I grew up with, who is Iceman King Parsons. I know that you wrestled down there at the Chase, and I know that you know Larry. So if you're listening to the show, just kind of send us a message online. We're at One Nation Network TV, but we're definitely going to do a tribute to him because all of us grew up on wrestling. So we definitely wanted to take some time to talk about that. So that's how we're going to start the show. But then we're going to then go into a political thing.
How you like that? Look at that.
All right. Oh, perfect. Oh, look at you. Oh, my God. I told you guys, Dirty's in his element now.
We still got some shadowings to work out.
Okay.
We still got some lighting issues to work out. But
yeah, but see, that orange kind of looks like I like it.
Yeah, stop it with the orange. Stop it with the orange.
So we're also going to talk about the past election, and we actually have Kevin, who was one of the he ran with the what was it, the what district was it?
State representative.
State rep?
89
Okay.
89th district.
Okay, great.
Democrat.
All right. Democrat. All right.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
Nothing wrong with that one.
All right. Dirty, that looks really great.
Yeah, it's got its moments.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, Larry Matysik was a very key role player in St. Louis for wrestling.
Right.
He was part of the NWA. He was the one that did a lot of the he did the wrestling of the Chase, which I mean ran for years. And Thursday. Thursday, we are going to be doing the MMWA show. Will be a complete tribute to Gary Matysik with special guest host. We will have Herb Simmons, and Tony Costa will be doing the entire show, and it will be dedicated strictly to this man. Now I got to figure out where I put it. See, that's the problem is I download so much stuff.
Yes, you do.
But
we have so much stuff to talk about. So
yeah, it'll be tribute to this guy right here. The one, the only. And, Kevin, you lived in St. Louis your whole life, right?
I have.
And do you remember this guy's name right here, Larry Matysik?
No, I don't, quite honestly.
I
do remember wrestling at the Chase.
Okay.
What kind of St. Louisan are you, man?
What kind of human being am I?
Right.
Who was your favorite?
What I do
Can
remember.
you remember who your favorite wrestler was back then?
No.
He comes on our show and doesn't even know who Larry Matysik is. Oh, man.
Oh, that's such a great picture of Larry.
I'm out of here. What I do
Dirty.
remember
That's
is
a great picture.
walking picket at the Chase, and the wrestlers wouldn't cross the picket line.
Oh, really?
There you go.
Okay.
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 Yeah, so Larry had a bunch of the greats that came by. Bruiser Brody, Ric Flair, all of those guys had come through St. Louis. And so this Thursday will be a tribute strictly to Larry Matysik with Herb Simmons and Tony Costa. See, Linda, I know you love this, but I'm still a little disappointed in my green. I like yours. Yours looks good.
Of course I do. You always make me
See?
look great.
Kevin looks good.
Yeah.
I, not so much.
Go back on yours. Let's see where that's. Oh, okay. I wonder what that is.
I don't know. I think it might be that light.
Okay. Or maybe your shirt. Because it looks like you have.
Right.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, look,
again.
it's my tattoo.
Oh my God! This man loves to show his
My
belly.
nipples are hard.
Oh my God!
They are hard as a rock. And this guy, I was talking to Kevin. He's like, man, I'm a little nervous, and I'm like, trust me, don't be nervous, man. You'll be all right. You'll be just fine. So, like we said, Kevin ran in District 88, which was
89.
the 89. Why did I keep saying 88?
I have no clue.
I don't know. So what was it that really made you get into the state politics?
See, that's perfect. Just keep it like that.
I will.
Dirty. Yeah.
What was it that really made you get into the state politics?
I've been an activist. I've been involved in a few causes. The Fight for 15, Black
Explain what
Lives
the
Matter.
fight. Explain what Fight for 15 is. If nobody knows.
Fight for 15 is a movement to establish a minimum wage of $15 an hour.
Okay.
Absolutely.
For
Great.
low-wage workers.
Okay.
And was a national movement. I say was. I believe it's still going on, but it's not nearly as active as it was a couple of years ago.
Correct.
And I worked with Jobs with Justice, which was behind that.
Now let me ask you this. Let's go back to
Sure.
the Jobs for 15 because me and Linda has. Somebody's right here who says, "Hi, Pawpaw, it's Logan."
Oh, God.
Oh, how sweet.
Hey, buddy. So,
Little ugly man.
So me and Linda's talked about this, and
Right.
I have a problem with the whole $15 minimum wage thing.
Because he's crazy.
It-
Who
not
the
that-
hell can live off less than that per hour? But go ahead, Dirty.
It's not that I'm crazy. I just feel that the minimum wage job is that job to get that kid started. to move on to that next level in their life. So explain to me why it's so important that somebody taking a food order or working at Wall Hell, I hate the Blue Devil,
He has an issue with Walmart.
is so important.
Well, it's important so that people can live and
Okay.
raise their children
Okay.
and contribute to the economy. There's a lot of angles to this. If you took percentage-wise, since minimum wage started, it peaked in buying power. I believe it was 1968, and it was $8.68 an hour.
Okay.
All right, if it's kept the percentage of buying power, minimum wage would be well over $20 an hour right now.
Easily.
Okay.
Right.
$15 an hour, all right, all this is my views, is not all that much.
Okay.
And when you say, there's a lot of things that factor in here. When you
Right.
say a guy taking a food order, low-wage workers cover much more than fast food workers. I spent a lot of time on the Christian Care picket line, Christian Care Retirement Center is what
Okay.
I'm saying. And these people took care of invalids, demented people.
No, I agree with
aged-
that. I agree those. Like the people, I think my big issue is like the health. I work, my 9 to 5's in the healthcare industry.
Okay.
And the healthcare industry people that are doing that kind of special stuff, they're the ones that are working in the nursing homes and stuff, they don't make a very good wage at all.
No, they don't.
I mean, they're lucky if they make $9,
And
$10
home
an
care
hour.
workers.
And those are like the LPNs and
Right,
the
right,
CNAs,
right.
So I agree, they should make more. I think my issue was why should people work at it like fast food or those minimal jobs that are to teach you the skills? Like if you go to school like you have to be an LPN, I mean,
right.
I don't think firefighters should make what they make either, though. That's just my opinion.
Okay,
What do you mean? They make too much?
I think they make too less.
Well,
and police officers
my
too.
response to that is that they
Right.
need to organize
Absolutely.
and
Right.
see. I don't see comparing. People say, well, they shouldn't get 15 because I don't get 15. Then you need to organize and
Right.
fight for yourself.
Okay.
And raise yourself.
The
Another thing,
Okay,
real
go
quick,
ahead.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
All this kids. There's a lot of people working, if you just want to assume fast food, there's a lot of people working in fast food that aren't kids anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It really is.
And that was the argument that I had for him. I said, Dirty, what you have to remember is after that recession they call it a recession, I call it the depression of 2008, 2009, I saw more 40 and 50 and 60-year-olds working full-time or part-time if they couldn't get full-time at McDonald's, Steak and Shake. And it was heartbreaking to know that these people were trying to take care of a household, on what, $10 an hour? And then you're
A
only
lot of them
working
don't get
20
$10 an
Yeah,
hour.
and then you're only working like
A whole lot of
part-time,
them don't
20
get
hours a
$10
week.
an hour.
Exactly.
I talked to people that were in the business 10 years.
Right.
A mother of 3 that's
Yeah.
59 years old. Because if you know, we did raise the rate in the city of St. Louis to $10 an hour.
Okay.
For 3 months until
Yep.
the Republicans in Jefferson City took
Yeah.
it away.
Yes, they did.
And there's a mother I know who was 59 years old with 3 people. She had been in the fast food for 10 years.
Wow.
And she made under $10
Isn't
an
that
hour.
sad?
She got up to $10 an hour because of the raise for 3 months. And then the Republican supermajority took that away.
Yep.
So
Okay.
I don't know if I answered
I mean,
anything.
no, you're convincing me. I see your point. I think it's because of being in, just doing the kind of work that I've done for so long. I mean, most trash guys start out at $18 an hour. So I guess, and I've come from union jobs and stuff like that. So I think that's where I'm seeing it as like, well, how is it fair for a union worker? I have a skill with the CDL. Yet I have a guy that's working in fast food. I think that's where.
I could address skill too.
Go ahead. That's what I want to hear. That's what you're here
Absolutely.
for. That's what
exactly
you're here
right.
for, man.
Exactly.
Well, I'll make a lot of enemies.
No.
But never think. That,
Welcome to our world.
No.
Kevin.
Welcome to One
Never
Nation,
think
brother.
that-
Absolutely.
Never think that you're too skilled that they can't replace you.
Thank you.
That is true.
My farmer father-in-law was an airline pilot. In fact, he was over all the pilots at TWA.
I worked for TWA back in the
Well,
day.
I won't say
right.
his name.
Okay.
Anyway,
I might know him.
I'll never forget one time, and this wasn't a political conversation. I said something to him about, how do you ever get pilots? And he said, I can get pilots all day long.
Right.
And it just blew my mind. I tell folks, when a doctor dies at a hospital, that wing doesn't go black.
Right.
They get another doctor.
Immediately.
So while you should take pride in your skills, to me, don't ever think that you can't be exploited and put out of place because of your skills.
Do you know what, man? I'm going to tell you now, you're making a lot of sense to me.
Right. And I don't know if you guys are aware of this, speaking about the airlines, and this was heartbreaking to me after TWA was brought up by American Airlines. Fortunately, I got caught up in that because I worked at the reservation office. So many TWA pilots that were making like 200-some thousand a year got laid off. They got rid of them first. And the flight attendants, they sure did, flight attendants. Then, and I kept telling people, I said, they're going to start doing like Southwest Airlines. These big aircrafts are going to start doing the little regional puddles. And I had people that had worked there for years going, no, they're never doing that. Look what they're doing now. Do you know that most of the pilots that drive the regional aircrafts only make like maybe $12, $13 an hour?
Yes, I
and
do
it's
know
not
that.
full time. And most of those guys, are you ready for this, Dirty?
Yep.
They're on food stamps.
Yeah.
Scully, the pilot that did the thing on the
Landed in
Hudson.
the Hudson.
Exactly. He said he doesn't even want his kids to become a pilot because there's just no future there.
I'm going to put Mark right on our bushes.
You're going to put Mark on our bushes?
Or Kevin. I'm going to put Kevin right on the bushes. See it?
Oh,
He's sitting on the
That's
bushes.
itchy, man. That's itchy.
I know, right? Dirty, I love that, though. Look at that. And this is the spectacular things, guys, that I was talking about.
I'm just playing.
This
I'm
man
just
has
playing.
been on a mission since, when did we start doing it with the
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, Harris here, we know what Harris does.
Harris.
Harris works in a field where they don't get paid
a lot, exactly.
very much either.
Right.
Harris works with the government.
Yeah.
A certain and he doesn't get paid very much.
Most of them have secondary jobs,
Right.
And
tertiary
jobs.
Okay, and again, that's where I'm going with like those guys, like what Harris does and all that. So wouldn't if we do and then Juan's on here who's a teacher,
Okay.
and they don't get paid very much.
Yeah.
Is there a way to where we can change something to make it livable for everyone?
Yeah, you have to be able to shoot a hoop, put a ball in a hoop, run with a football,
get a little
so
white
you
ball.
can be one out of
so you can make millions.
millions.
Isn't that crazy?
My answer to that all the time is if you're waiting for somebody else to do that for you,
Thank you.
you're going to be exploited the rest of your life.
Right.
You have to organize. For instance, what I'm talking about, the Fight for 15 movement, that was organized. These people organized. They took chances. They walked out. They demonstrated. That's how the labor movement was built. A lot of union people don't even realize that.
Right? Yeah. It's
that
true.
People
Yeah,
were
exactly.
killed,
Right.
were jailed, were put in prison. I'm not saying you have to do any of that.
Why
but
not?
you
Let's do it.
Well, I'm not saying you.
Well, now,
I'm not saying you do. I'm not saying you don't.
No, you're not Dirty saying it.
guys, I'm serious.
Kevin Fitzpatrick
Now's
did
not the
not
time to
say. Hold on.
protest.
Kevin Fitzpatrick. I'm going to make
Right.
Fitzgerald. Why do I keep calling him? I got a friend.
Everybody does that.
I got a friend whose last name is
Fitzgerald. Oh,
Fitzpatrick.
okay.
So
Right.
now
So don't listen to Dirty,
this is
guys.
not an endorsement from Kevin Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
No, Fitzgerald. Not an endorsement
Name
from
tag for you.
Kevin Fitzgerald. Dirty is saying, go organize, cause riots, and kill people to get $15 an
Oh,
hour.
good Lord.
That's what Dirty's saying.
It's a good thing I didn't come on here when I was a candidate.
You know
huh?
what I'm saying? Welcome to my world, Kevin. Well, the sad thing is, like you said, now it's just getting worse. Every day it seems to be worse and worse when you want to try to organize to do like the Black Lives Matter thing. You said you were a part of that. Now they're actually targeting people as terrorists if you're caught up in that movement. So what do you think? Tell us about what you think, Kevin, about our political system now, how things are going since the 2016, was that 2016 election?
I know I can't get his name right. I never do.
Just say Kevin. Don't even say the last name.
I know.
Since 2016?
Yeah, when we changed administrations, 2017.
I think, geez, that's a pretty big question. Well, we're definitely leaning to the right.
Yeah, we're definitely
except,
more right. Yeah.
Except nationally. This past election in 18, we made some movement nationally. We didn't statewide. As far as labeling people terrorists and things like that, do you have 5 hours?
I know, right?
we have 2 hours. We don't. We have way more than that.
It is one thing, especially in state politics.
Right.
Nobody pays attention to it.
Right.
When I canvassed door to door, the gentleman that I ran against has been in office for 3 years. Republican.
Okay.
Even most of the Republicans I talked to didn't even know who he was. All right. What I'm getting at is folks don't know what's going on at a state level, except for big, huge things that make a splash, like Right to Work did with the repeal and everything. There are constant little insidious laws being passed at a state level and at a federal level. In the case of labor, throughout the years, there's been all kinds of small little laws that have been passed that make it all but impossible to picket. You can have 2 gates, which makes it completely ineffective to picket because people can go in the other gate. All kinds of things.
Right.
So it does frighten me. It does scare me. The crackdown on what I consider personal freedoms, freedom of speech.
I hit the wrong button.
I kind of like that. That sounded better than listening to me.
That's a great picture of him. Put it straight on him, Dirty. I like that picture.
That's what I had.
There we go. Okay, cool.
So anyway,
it is kind of frightening.
I'm very concerned.
Yeah.
Freedom of speech, I think, is under attack.
Yeah.
A lot of it. I seen things. I in the Fight for 15 movement and I've different demonstrations, things like that. I've seen what I consider overreaction on the part of what I consider overreaction on the part of the authorities, militarizing of the police.
The police department, absolutely.
And I've also traveled to 20 years ago. In 97, I went over to Northern Ireland.
Okay.
And stayed with people in Northern Ireland. And what I saw over there sobered me and frightened me to no degree. I wasn't actually even prepared for it, even though I thought I knew what was going on. Okay, so getting back in the time of Ferguson and this past few things, it reminded me of that when I saw tanks, or the equivalent of tanks on rubber wheels.
Yes. It was scary, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it concerns me a great deal.
Right. And any advice for young activists thinking of, because I still have, because most of my son is like 40-ish, my niece is same thing, and they like to get out there and protest, and it's like, please don't go out there. You know what I'm saying?
They got to go out there.
I know. So you think that it's still a good idea for them to go out there and put their lives on the line?
I don't know if everybody's putting their lives on the line.
Right.
You can, it depends on your demeanor and things like that. But I don't know that I'm the one to give anybody advice. I haven't written an activist manual. Being an activist can range from writing letters to your congressman to go into jail to whatever. So there's a lot of degrees in activism. But I will say this that I say often. I don't know of any major social movement that started at a legislative level, be it the civil rights movement, the labor movement, women's rights. Women have only had the right to vote for the past 100 years. If you think about that, that's
disgusting.
That's something.
Yeah.
None of those have come about by a legislator saying, I'm gonna write this bill.
Right.
They have come about by people. You're worried about your son and that, by people taking chances and going out and striking and holding up traffic.
Right.
I'm sorry, but that's if somebody could tell me I'm wrong.
No.
But and people doing that were killed.
Yeah.
Some were killed.
Yeah.
Some were jailed. Some were sent to prison.
Right. I grew up watching Martin Luther King. I was
So
10.
did I.
Yeah. Okay. When he was killed, and he was
moving.
very peaceful movements, and the way they were attacked, especially if you think about what happened in Alabama on the bridge.
On Emmett. Yes.
Selma. Yeah. Absolutely.
That was disgusting.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Look, I'm all for protesting. I'm all for the First Amendment right. I'm all for that. But at a certain point, you can only take your First Amendment so far. In my opinion, like, what really irritates me is when you got the God hates fags losers protesting, young men and women who are actually there giving up their lives for that right, for them to say that. I mean, I just don't think we have any decency anymore in America.
You ever been where they were?
To where? Where those soldiers were?
No, the
God hates fags losers.
yeah, who are they? I can't think of.
Oh,
it now.
I will do not say the name. Nope, I will not allow it. I do not. I don't. To me, they are less than. I won't even refer to them as human beings because they're not.
What bothers me about that
Arkansas.
is, yeah. And here's the thing. God loves everybody. Seriously. I grew up in the church. I'm a Christian author. He loves everybody. What you do is between you and him. You know what I'm saying? And it just drives me crazy when people come out and say, well, you do this, so God's not going to love you. He's like, who are you to judge? I mean, you don't have that type of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But I think we're living in very scary times.
There you go. Juan said it for me.
What did Juan say?
Yeah, I won't say it.
He said it? Okay.
I refuse to even give those people. Well, I just call them the P word. I refuse to give them any. There's certain things in this world to me that is disrespectful, and when you're disrespecting the young men and women who put their lives on the line,
right,
to give us the freedom to do this every day, that's uncalled for.
Right. Well, my thing is, if you pick one group to hate
them all.
Then it gives them exactly. It gives them an
Actually have a
opportunity
shirt
to
that
say,
says, "I hate everybody."
I know, right?
There you go.
Yeah, it gives. Okay, then it's like, who's the next group we're gonna hate? You know, it turns into like a frenzy. And
He has.
It's really sad.
Juan has interviewed some of them before.
Okay, right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
They're characters.
And basically, they're just basically going by what they believe. If you read they don't read the word. Don't even get me started about that, because there's nothing in there that says some things are an abomination to him. But he doesn't say you are an abomination. He's saying what you do. It's sort of like when you were growing up or as a parent and you get mad at your kid and you go, I hate what you did. Not what I don't hate you.
See,
but
look,
I hate what
everybody's
you did.
giving me trouble. Okay, so they told me to get him out of the bushes. So I got him off the bushes. Then I put him on top of the flags, and now they say,
I didn't see that. Oh no, don't do that.
I love that.
I didn't even see that.
So
I didn't do it. I didn't do it, folks.
No, I did. So
I love it.
Kevin, where do you want me to put you? You
Find in the bushes.
right here? Is that
I
good?
like him on top of the flags. It's
On top of the
you're
flags?
on
No,
top of
don't do
the
that.
world.
No, don't do that.
It's like you're on top of the world.
So we'll put him right here on the bushes.
Fine there.
Right on the
Right.
bushes.
I'm good with nature. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
So everybody be quiet. That's where the guy wants to be. They're telling you don't jump off the flag. Well, you just did. You jumped
I
onto the
just
bushes again. So this is One Nation Network. I am Dirty. Sitting across from me is the one, the only, and sitting with our sponsor's name.
Yeah.
Do you want
Lynn
to
B.
give a?
Yes, I do.
pose?
Don't forget, guys, Stacy's Novelties and Gifts. We had a great time broadcasting live there, November the 13th, our last show. 10% discount if you go out there on the days that she's there, and I'll post those days on our website. And mention the One Nation Network, you get a 10% discount. And since we're still doing the Cyber Monday, even though it's Tuesday, she's also offering a 10% discount for seniors, okay? So she's got some great products. As a matter of fact, I'm headed out there. I told Dirty, it's sinus time for me. So she has this sinus salt. Talk about that bomb, Dirty, that you got there, because he was like, oh my God. He goes out there all the time and buys stuff.
Well, it's right down the street from my house,
Exactly.
so of course I do.
So I gotta go get some. What is it?
I was cutting my grass. I was cutting my leaves, and I ended up having an allergy attack. And yes, Stacy does have stuff for facelifts. Mr.
Facelifts?
Ruby, yeah, that's what you need. Is a facelift.
Well, Dirty did his.
I did a
something with-
facial.
Well, it wasn't a facial. You just kind of used some scrub on your face. It was fantastic.
Is that what it was?
Right.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, because we couldn't call it a facial, remember?
That's true.
That's
We
true.
couldn't.
Right. Exactly.
We could not call it a facial.
Oh, and Dirty, she's got her wonderful sign. Did you see? Do you have a picture of her new sign that she
I
has?
don't. Not
Okay.
on here.
All right, and then you're going to talk about our other.
I'm trying to find a good spot for it because I got so much. I'm about to do a little bit of rearranging, but that's okay. And our other sponsor right there. Right there, over here. Joni's. To go. Go check them out. Right there.
right there on Russell.
Right there on Russell.
Right.
And, Mr. Kevin, do you got anything to plug?
No.
Yeah, you do. It's that right above you.
Yep.
It's that name right
say hi
above
to
you.
Oh, One
Yeah.
Nation Network TV.
There you go.
And this is the most fun I've had in a long time.
Oh, good.
I was
We
a
love it
nervous
when
wreck coming down. I've never done anything like this. These guys are great. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I'll
Yeah.
be a new. I'll have a new addiction.
There you
Great.
go.
Absolutely.
Every Tuesday.
Make sure you like our page so you can stay tuned, and we'd love to have you come back on. Are you
I would
planning
love
on
to.
running again?
I got
don't
more
know.
questions.
I'm going to do something though.
Okay, good.
I'm going to do something.
Yeah. What kind of question do you have, Dirty?
So, when we were talking, earlier about different things and all that. We were talking about the medical marijuana.
Yeah.
Here he goes.
Well, no, we were talking about it.
Okay.
And we were just talking about, but the one I want to ask you the most is, you were for right to work. You were against
Against right to work.
right to work.
Correct.
Why do I always say it that way? Why do I
Yeah.
always say you were for? It's when I know it's you're against.
Absolutely. Right.
Okay, so Missouri voters voted against right to work.
Voted to repeal it. Correct.
Right. We voted for medical marijuana.
Correct.
Yet, we voted for a guy who wants to repeal all of that. Why is it? How is it that we as a society have gotten so ingrained to only vote for our party when it comes to the big ticket issues like that stuff? Why is that?
Well, as I mentioned to you earlier, if I could tell you, I'd be president of the United States tomorrow.
That'd be a good change.
And quite honestly, I don't know. I suspect a few things. One thing I suspect is that, and I ran in a highly Republican district, highly conservative Republican district, and I ran as a Democrat.
Okay.
And I've been a Democrat all my life. But for some reason, in Missouri, that word is toxic. It wasn't as deeply associated with the ballot initiatives as it is as a candidate. Because when you're running as a candidate, you have to be one or the other. Or
Okay,
you could be
and why is that? Why is that it's like that?
toxic?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I for one thing, I'll make 10 billion enemies. I don't know. The thing that you brought up earlier with the fight for 15, I think there's a lot of that. People think that people are on welfare and their taxes are all going to raise other people's kids, and that's a gross overgeneralization, and I think that's what's going on. They think that Democrats want to give everything away, want to give everybody's money away. I guess that's it. A simple answer would be messaging, how we're presenting ourselves. There's a whole lot of things that go into it. I can't speak for the rural area because I don't live there. I'd like to learn more about the rural area. And the rural areas, you talk about the voting for the ballot initiative and not for the Democratic candidate. In the rural areas, there's areas, Hayti, things like that, the poverty is incredible.
Yeah.
And they vote Republican.
Yes, they do.
And
it's the craziest
it's the
thing.
same situation as voting for the ballot initiative, but not for the party that did all the work to put the ballot initiative on the ballot. And now, by the way, one of the first things they're going to be doing is attacking that. There already are. They're already organizing to attack the ballot initiative process. So anyway, I can't sit here and give you an answer. I wish I could. I don't know if it's education. It goes down to different things. We got to get the internet out to the rural communities. In the little bit I've talked and with people in the rural communities and that, perhaps that would help widen folks' world. So many of us live in bubbles. All of us.
Oh,
All of
yeah.
us have a
Oh,
bubble.
yeah. Oh, we talk
Don't even
about
get me
that all
started
the
about
time.
bubbles.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and unless you force yourself out of your bubble,
Exactly.
you will not learn, and it's a tough thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I answered anything.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
you
really
you
did.
actually really did.
Now, when it comes to the rural areas and the internet, the 5G is supposed to be really good because instead of the big cell towers, they've got these little small like poles they're going to be putting all over the place. There's some concerns that it might actually be hazardous because, they say sometimes the cell towers, just like the electrical towers, might cause cancer and everything. But now I have Spectrum or Charter at home, and I'm always on the 5G network. It doesn't go far, but it definitely gives you a better quality on the internet. And you don't drop, it doesn't drop in. What is it when they start going round and round and all? What do they call that? The roaming? What is that?
Oh, roaming?
Yeah, roaming.
Yeah. You don't really get too much of that. So I'm like you. I think it's always been fascinating to me that, like you said, the people that need help the most always vote with the
Against
wealthy
their
party.
interest.
Yeah, against their best interest. Why is that? Any idea? I know.
Unless they just identify with what they hope to be someday.
Right.
Wealthy and my district is the wealthiest district in the state.
Yes.
Now I'm
Wait, is it really?
Yeah.
It is.
That area, I did not realize that.
Oh, yeah.
Now where I live
Right.
happens to be a little pocket that's not. By the way, because I don't want people sitting here thinking that. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Right.
It's just anyway. I came from a little pocket of the district that's
Okay.
quote normal. The rest. But what I'm going to say is I was kind of intimidated when I got into this about canvassing, going door to door, because I thought, oh my gosh,
Oh, we have a caller.
Okay.
oh.
Is that Juan?
It is.
Okay, because he was looking for someone to call.
Caller, go ahead. Are you on? Can you hear me?
What's up, Dirty?
Why can't we hear him?
I can hear him.
You can?
Yeah.
Barely. I can hear.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh,
Oh, there you are. Let me turn you up a little. Okay. What's up, dude?
man, you're just not on your game tonight. You can't remember your guest's name. You can't
Oh, he's fine.
get the camera angles right.
Shut up. Shut up. What do you want?
Well, I hear y'all talking about the, Missouri being a mostly Republican state. And, I have to say, coming from Illinois, I am dumbfounded by the amount of Republicans in the state of Missouri. Especially where I live. I mean, you guys know I live out in Franklin County,
Yeah.
and this is a very poor, hard-working area, and these people out here continue to vote for Republicans.
Yeah.
And I honestly think it is because, one, a lack of education, and two, because of their racist and stereotypical views.
I agree. I left that out, and I
Yeah.
agree entirely.
But
I mean, I'm not scared to say it. I'll say it straight up. I mean, we have a very racist area down here. I mean, I've been told by several people they won't vote for a candidate just because they're black or Mexican.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They'll vote for a candidate, much like our former governor, who will shoot commercials toting his big machine guns. That's all it takes to get people to vote for you in this state, and that's sad.
yeah, I mean,
Because
it really is.
as an educator, I'm seeing it firsthand. We have a new generation of kids coming up who, they're still largely influenced by what they see at home, or largely influenced by their lack of parental guidance at home.
Mm-hmm.
And things aren't getting any better. I mean, you have Trump going on TV saying this is the best economy we've had in years. I'm sorry, that's a lie.
And then you close down 5 General Motors plants and lay off people before Christmas.
Right.
God.
I mean,
Sad.
yeah, there may be more jobs out there, but how many of those jobs are jobs that you can raise a family on?
Exactly.
I mean, it's all a big farce.
Well, he's against that.
Against what?
The fight for 15.
I have some issues with it.
I don't think that fast food workers should make $15 an hour. And I have no problem with kids working there to support themselves in high school or college, but it's not a career. And that's the problem with our nation right now is, unfortunately, a lot of our, Americans have to turn to that as a career. And it was never meant to be.
Right.
And that's a big problem. I don't know how you solve it. I don't know the solution.
Hold on.
Okay.
Our guest has it.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Kevin's got something.
Hi, Juan.
Stay on there, Juan.
Yeah.
One thing I always think about in history, or historically, when people say those jobs weren't meant to be this, those jobs weren't meant to be that. Miners, you could say the same thing about miners. You could say the same thing about truck drivers. Mm-hmm. My father was a truck driver, and he was, to give you a time frame, he's of course gone, but he'd be about 100 years old now. So just to give you a time frame, when he started driving a truck, I remember my mom said they didn't make anything. They didn't make anything.
Right.
And then through the Teamsters organizing, they started making things. There's a lot of times that the jobs, you could consider them low-skilled, even auto work. I mean, I'm afraid to say anything because I don't want to insult anyone or anything, but a lot of jobs now, a lot of people can do. Things are simplified constantly by technology, whatnot. So there's a lot of things that you could, if you took them apart and said, well, those weren't made. I mean, a miner's job, it's dangerous, but I don't know if they do anything highly technical, but the people themselves made those jobs into what could be a career. So, there's a lot of things going against that. First off, on minimum wage, I don't think of only fast food workers. The other thing is, real quick, if I may say so, I'm 65 years old. When I came out of high school here in the St. Louis areas,
he looks better than I do, and I'm
there
42.
I didn't want to say that, Dirty, but anyway.
There was
I love that
2 Chrysler plants,
mustache.
a Ford plant,
Right.
all 3 that went basically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We had an international airport that TWA was the international hub.
Yep.
We had Carter Carburetor, which I don't know if you're familiar with it, if
Yeah.
anybody was massive.
Yeah, exactly.
What I'm trying to say is I could come out of high school and go to work. I mean, like all of them were really possible to get a job at and make a living. Not only make a living, end up raising a family, buying a house, buying a boat, a motorcycle, a car, which stimulates the economy, right? You don't have any of that anymore. And by the way, there was other manufacturing plants that supplied those car plants. I knew a woman that worked at a plant that made the seats for Chrysler. So there was satellite plants or whatever. There was so much damn work, and you could make a living at it. And now you don't have that. Now you have these service jobs. And these corporations, they're making the money. They can share it.
Sure.
So that's how I come about this bit. And I'm sorry.
No.
I don't want to ramble.
No, my concern
can I say this,
with it
Juan?
is,
Hold on, Juan. If you guys remember, maybe about 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, they actually predicted that we're going to become a service economy. Because like you, my dad worked at Skull and Steel. Remember Skull and Steel?
Right down on Manchester.
I told you I grew up in Richmond
I forgot
Heights.
about that as an example.
And back then in the 70s, and we're talking unskilled labor, but he worked, my mom worked. We lived like, upper middle class family. We had 2 cars, nice house, all that. Now it's just not possible.
It's not there.
Look at, let's just say
my main concern is, if these people can get paid $15 an hour to work a fast food job or whatever, job they want to do, that's great. But what I'm seeing happening is you're going to start losing a lot of these jobs to technology now.
I think it's going to happen anyway.
You're going to see, and you're already starting to see it with McDonald's, and these restaurants are starting to go to more machines to take orders.
Yep.
So you can take your $15 an hour, but the market for your job is going to be a lot more competitive, and there's going to be a lot more people out there looking for those jobs because there's going to be fewer and fewer.
Well, there's
that-
few perfect solutions in the world.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There, and the way I look at it is, we have so many issues that need to be dealt with in this country right now. Yeah, to me, the minimum wage thing is not high on my list, and that could be because I'm not a minimum wage worker and it doesn't affect me. But
That's so sad, though.
I could say
Juan.
it does affect you, but go ahead.
Because it can't just be about you and what affects you. What about I don't know if you have any kids, but if you have a kid that goes to college, you know what I'm saying? College.
Well, that's a whole nother issue. I mean, the student loans are ridiculous.
Yes, they are.
But on the 15
the fact that we can't get free education in this country,
we could too.
For everyone,
I know what you mean.
Right. Absolutely.
I agree.
Right.
But the 15 thing, though, too. Here's a couple of things. You say it doesn't affect you. People are concerned about people on welfare and everything. This could take people off of government programs.
Exactly.
It could do that. That's one thing.
Right.
And the other thing it would do would put money into the economy.
Right.
The people can spend. And man, let me tell you, sometimes I want to get people to think 15 really isn't that much anymore.
No.
These folks aren't going to be buying boats and cars and getting massages and all the kinds of things that people with money can stir up. But they could spend a little more than they do. So
you might be able to pay your electric bill and a grocery bill instead of having to decide which one.
Right.
Now, listen, guys. Okay, and I don't mean to interrupt, but listen, this is why it's not just about fast food.
Correct.
Thank God I'm retired now because I'm about 5 years younger than you. But thank God my husband unfortunately passed and I'm retired. I can get, because when
Wait.
I did say that.
Stop the clock.
Don't interrupt me because I'll lose my thought. But here's the thing. St. Louis, okay, I'm going to shout out and call out St. Louis Public Library. I worked there. I love the library. Worked there from 2007 to 2014. Started off at $9 an hour as a clerk.
Right.
And it's like, you've got to be joking, okay? Then I got switched to a different department and went all the way up to $11 an hour. When I left there, now listen, I've been there 8 years, right? 7-8 years. Left there at $12 an hour. It's like, are you freaking kidding me? All the big heads, they're making big money. Big money, It's just disgusting.
That's how it works.
Yeah. So it's just not about the fast food restaurants. I'm like Kevin on this. Minimum wage should start at the very minimum $15, and that's really not a lot of money. Again, like I said, it allows you to maybe pay your rent, pay your phone bill, pay your gas bill, and maybe get groceries.
You notice I keep turning. She said today she was going to sit in her chair and relax.
Oh, that's right.
And I keep turning her gain up because she keeps getting up on the microphone.
Good.
Well, because you got me fired up. And get me off the screen all the time. Get
You're the one
somebody else on
talking.
there.
When Kevin's talking, I put it on him.
All righty.
When I'm talking, I don't like the way my screen looks, so I don't put it on me.
But I look so good, Dirty.
Juan, if I can say one thing,
Sure,
I do
go ahead,
appreciate
sweetie.
you bringing up racism because I'm embarrassed that I forgot to bring that up as why people vote the way they do. So I appreciate you doing that.
Thanks,
'Cause I
Juan.
couldn't agree more with you there.
Oh, sure.
All right.
Yeah,
Anything else, Juan?
No, I think the conversation tonight is very interesting, and it's just sad that we're 2018 right now, and it if you look at the way things are going, it feels like we are regressing as a nation.
Exactly.
Not just monetarily, but
Socially.
in the way people interact and the way we view each other.
Right.
And to me, it's just a shame because I don't see it improving anytime soon. I just don't. And I'd like to always try to have a positive outlook on things. But, I mean, I look at the Democratic Party, I've been a Democrat my entire life. I mean, I was raised to buy American cars and support the unions, and I always have. But I tell you what, as a Democrat, it's scary because I don't know a single person right now that could beat Donald Trump in the election.
Me either. I agree with that.
I do.
100%.
And that is
I know one.
scary thing.
Yeah.
Who?
He's down there in Texas.
Who?
He doesn't have he didn't win Texas.
He
How
sure
can he win the
didn't.
U.S. vote?
I'm
No.
just telling you.
He's not going to win. I'm like Juan on that.
I'm
Trump's gonna
telling
get
you,
back
there's
in there.
there's enough young people that will vote for that.
No,
dude.
it's not. Doesn't
No,
matter. It doesn't
Dirty,
matter.
I'm telling you right now, you look at the young people today, and a lot of them, they like Trump.
Yeah, they do. They like
They-
what
and
Trump
it's-
stands for.
It's our white young men
Yep.
who look at Trump and they think he's cool.
Yeah.
It's our white young women who look at Trump and they think, you know what?
That's-
I'm going to vote for him because he may talk down to women, but so what?
Yep.
And that's the type of attitude we need to change. And unfortunately, I don't know how it can be changed. I really don't. I mean, I've been in the education business now almost 15 years, and I see our youth, they just don't have the work ethic that they had 20 years